A heavy brass lock guarding the world's greatest fortunes, a mechanical design declared completely impossible to crack. But in 1851, a single audacious challenge destroyed a global security monopoly. The year is 1851. London is hosting the Great Exhibition, a massive showcase of industrial might. Inside the Grand Halls, British engineering reigns supreme, especially when it comes to security. For over half a century, the entire banking system has relied on a legendary mechanical masterpiece, the Bramah challenge lock. It's an intricate puzzle of iron and brass sliders. The manufacturers are so completely arrogant about their design that they've placed the lock in a London shop window, offering a massive cash bounty to anyone who can pick it. And for over 40 years, the prize has sat untouched, while locksmiths and bankers sleep soundly, completely convinced that mechanical perfection has finally been achieved. But lockmakers designed their security based on static rules. They assumed a thief would try to force the lock with brute strength, gunpowder, or crude iron picks. They never anticipated a master class in mechanical patience. Enter Alfred Charles Hobbs, an American salesman representing a rival security company. He didn't use a hammer, he used physics and microscopic feedback. Hobbs didn't just snap the lock open in a few minutes. He sat before the legendary Bramah lock for 16 days, spending over 50 hours meticulously feeling out the tiny imperfections inside the mechanism, with custom-made steel needles. And when the final cylinder turned and the lock clicked open without a key, the banking world went into a quiet panic. This was the ultimate fork in the road. If Hobbs fails, the industry remains stagnant, trusting old keyholes for another generation. But instead, the illusion of absolute security vanished, and they traded decades of comfortable arrogance for a harsh lesson in reality, never realizing that given enough time and the right mind, any lock can be broken. The next day, the British newspapers announced the opening of the unpickable lock, and the public realizes that trust is a moving target. The next year, lock manufacturers completely abandoned the traditional lever and key design for high-security vaults. Engineers began experimenting with keyless, number-only mechanisms. And 10 years later, the modern combination dial lock becomes the standard for financial institutions. Safes no longer feature an open keyhole that can be probed, picked, or injected with explosive. And every decade, digital encryption replaces mechanical tumblers. The war between the locker and the cracker shifts from brass gears into the digital cloud. We'd love to build systems and declare them foolproof, whether it's an old brass padlock or a modern piece of software. But security is never a static destination. It's an active, ongoing war. And the moment you believe your design is completely unhackable is the exact moment you become vulnerable. True protection isn't about creating something that can never be broken. It's about having the humility to know that someone, somewhere, is always working on a way to pick your lock. But what if Hobbs had stayed in America and never took the challenge? The British lock monopoly remains unchallenged. Bankers continue to use the same old keyhole vaults for the rest of the 19th century, blissfully unaware of the inherent flaw. But without that public wake-up call, the rapid evolution into modern combination safes never happens. Professional criminal syndicates eventually discover the design flaw in secret. Instead of a controlled legal demonstration by a businessman in an exhibition hall, the century ends with a massive, undetected wave of bank robberies across Europe and America, threatening the stability of the financial system. The lock controversy was an embarrassing blow to industrial pride, but it forced the security world to invent the keyless systems we still rely on today to protect our gold, our data, and our homes. Would you trust your valuables inside a modern safe today if that American had spent those 16 days with a piece of wire? And this is the ripple of the picked lock. The original Bramah lock is still on display today, a beautiful piece of craftsmanship that proved to be entirely human. And what about you? Have you ever put total trust in a security system only to realize later how easily it could be broken? Share it in the comments below. And if you would like to explore more of these ripples in history and in life, please hit subscribe and join me here on The Ripple Trace.